ready, everyone, for Tuesday afternoon NBA action on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan here with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Doris Burke will join us moments from now from courtside. Now a chance to check out our starting lineups. First for the Nets, Deron Williams and Joe Johnson at the 1 and 2. And inside out of Stanford University, a skilled post scorer with tremendous size, the 7-footer Brook Lopez. Then it's Pierce, and it's Garnett in at the 4 spot. And for Toronto, Lowry and DeRozan, they're the backcourt. And at the 5, the 5th overall pick in the 2011 draft, a fleet-footed 6'11" big man out of Lithuania, Jonas Valanciunas. Then there's Rudy Gay, and it's Johnson in at the 4 slot.
Well, a front office shakeup this offseason for the Toronto Sauruses. The Raptors spent big money to attract the executive of the year, and there was definitely some turnover as people were let go and fresh faces were hired on.
It'll be the Nets off the tip. Garnett against Johnson. Johnson outside. Garnett unloads from 13. And he drops that one in. You know, with the new leadership here in Toronto, perhaps a change for the better for a team that's only made the playoffs, Steve, 5 times in its 18-year history.
The new general manager is very well respected around the league. He's done a great job in Denver, and now a chance to turn this Toronto franchise around. And remember, Kevin, this is one of the best fan bases in the NBA. These fans love their team. I think this is kind of a sleeping giant here.
You know, with so many injuries to his team during last season, Paul Pierce easily could have taken things light, but he just doesn't roll that way. I mean, as a matter of fact, he played through a pinched nerve in his neck just to stay on the court when his team needed it. He is truly one of the all-time great players in the league and one of the outstanding Celtics of all time, too, and that's saying a lot with all of the Hall of Famers that have worn the green and white.
Now here is Lowry. Here's DeRozan. That one off the back iron and out.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Valanciunas with the ball. He's picked up by Lopez. The drive by Lowry. And Lowry gets double-teamed. Gay passes to Johnson. He feeds it to Lowry. 6 on the shot clock. Gay outside. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. And back to Paul Pierce last season. With Rajon Rondo out with that horrible ACL tear, he really carried the Celtics so far.
Yeah, especially offensively. I mean, we saw the drain on his efficiency, the lowest field goal percentage for him in 9 years. But, you know, he still can shoot threes, still gets to the foul line. They relied on him an awful lot last season.
Here's what Brooklyn's going with right now. Blotch comes in for Brook Lopez. And Kirilenko's subbed in for Kevin Garnett. Here's DeRozan. Deron Williams picking up that last basket. Lowry drives in. The feed to Hansbrough. Banked in off the glass.
Really good example there of some fine interior passing before that basket.
Lowry against Williams. Johnson for 3. It's rebounded by Kyle Lowry. Williams with the block. And so the first quarter is in the books. Nets lead by 4. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment.
You know, as great as 2012 was for the Nets, in many ways, they really came up short on their last game of that calendar year. In 2012, the New Year's Eve matchup against the Spurs, the Nets only scored 5 points in the third quarter of that contest.
And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, gentlemen, as you know, Jason Kidd has always been perceptive. And when he retired from playing, he said his thought process went like this. All right, let's take a look at your resume, Jason. You have no financial background. You have basketball. That's what you have for your whole life. So next was going to be basketball. And once he and his agent started to explore the opportunities, the coaching position with the Nets emerged. And Kidd said things moved to, quote, warp speed after that. Kevin, we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, good situation for him. Thanks, Doris. And Clark, you were talking about the Nets They went from looking like a team that could compete for a title to a team that, while still talented, Steve, and a lock for the playoffs, was a little closer to the middle of the pack than they thought.
Well, with the hot start they got off to, I think it was just a matter of time before they hit a cold stretch. And never fun to be held to just 5 points in a quarter. And that game had a lot of Nets fans wondering how the rest of the season would go. But, hey, they got it back together and still finished off pretty well.
Landry Fields checking in for the Raptors. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You know, when Terrence Ross was drafted 8th overall, a lot of people were kind of scratching their heads as to why the Raptors would take him at that position. Some debate and uncertainty still resides there in the minds of some, but it's not quite as questioned because he's shown that he's got the tools to be a great wing player down the road.
The Raptors making a switch here. Valanciunas is checked in. And the rejection by Valanciunas. Watch, dishes to Terry. Outside Kirilenko. Pass to Johnson. For 3. Another miss by Johnson. Well, even though Terrence Ross didn't get the most playing time in his rookie season, he got enough on a consistent basis to flash what he was capable of with the Toronto Raptors roster.
Really, as a rookie, all you want is a chance to show what you can do on the court. And I thought Ross did that. Made some highlight reel plays with his athleticism. Can really run and get up and dunk. And he's got a nice three-point stroke as well.
The shot and game clock separated by 4. Johnson goes in, and he dunks it down. Stupendous rush to the rim and a mighty slam on the end of it.
But through the teeth of some pretty soft D, I can't help but say that.
Well, let's see how that impacts things here, because those kinds of plays sometimes can be game changers on both sides.
He dishes it to Fields. The pass to Augustine. His 3-pointers off the mark. And the first half ends in a close one. Nets out in front. They lead by 1. We'll see you after halftime for the beginning of the third quarter.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to the halftime report with a close contest going on out at Air Canada Centre. It's a close game for Brooklyn going up against the Toronto Raptors. And defensively, they've done a good job grabbing rebounds, limiting second chances. A good start for Joe Johnson, and they love the output they've gotten from Darren Williams, too. On the other side, the Raptors looking pretty solid as well. Their bench making its presence felt, putting up big numbers coming in from the Pine. That's it for us here in the studio. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. Toronto trailing. And DeRozan. Here we go. The finger roll finish at the bucket. DeRozan's got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Raptors.
Well, you know what, guys? DeMar DeRozan said he watched a lot of tape of Dwayne Wade working on the low block, learning to pass out of double teams and attack weaker defenders. That's definitely an area he can exploit in his own game.
Now here's Pierce. Shot clock at 6. Back to Williams. Shoots it up. Here's Lopez. And he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket.
It's a great play under the boards for him. And, you know, that's the standard that he sets. It seems like all those second chance points, I mean, they're there for him game in, game out.
And for DeRozan, not a great playmaker, but he has made strides in that area.
Yeah, last season he significantly improved his assist-to-turnover ratio, and that's exactly what you want to see out of your shooting guards because even though they're not playmakers as point guards, shooting guards are handling the ball too and making plays.
Well, you take a look at DeMar DeRozan out of UFC, just signed a really big contract recently, and I love his size and athleticism at the two-guard position, and he came into the league as a guy who could finish inside, and despite the criticism he's received, I think he's really grown as a consistent perimeter shooter as well. This is a tough matchup for just about every other two-guard in the league.
Now here's Johnson with the second effort, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the way he sets screens, if you're on defense, you've got to have your head up if you're guarding the ball handler. Because if not, you're going to feel like you just ran into a brick wall.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't also mention his supreme shot blocking. And he doesn't do it softly. He comes up with emphatic denials.
And going into last season, DeMar DeRozan receiving a 4-year, $42 million contract.
Watch out! Oh, down there, man.
The lead changes hands once again. There's been no separation between these two teams tonight.
What an intriguing basketball game, that's for sure.
34 seconds left in the third quarter. Williams in the post, now recovering. Garnett kicks to Williams. Johnson outside. The Nets working the ball around now. Pierce attacking. Trails the baseline jumper. Third quarter, guys, and this has been a neck-and-neck game.
Sure has been. I mean, guys, momentum is hard to come by in this one. I mean, it seems like one team gets the lead, and then the other one storms right back.
Yeah, and that is evidenced by the 8 lead changes we've seen so far.
Gay gets a screen from Valanciunas. Gay passes to Lowry. Gay. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. And it's 6 points for Rudy Gay.
Boy, he's so hard to stop, guys, because he poses a ton of matchup problems for the defense.
3 quarters of play in a close game here. Raptors lead by 2. We'll be back shortly live from the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for Toronto.
They've been the aggressors, and they've been tougher in the paint all game.
You know, something else I've noticed is just how many of their baskets have been set up by assists throughout the game.
Johnson kicks to Pierce. It's stolen by DeRozan. Fast break Toronto. Gay.
Hammer time!
Boy, this is shaping up to be a real barn burner.
Well, I think it already is. I mean, we're going to find out which team tightens up under the pressure and which one can stay poised.
Nets trail by 4. Williams attacking.
Obvious foul.
Yeah, he took a hit right there and earned those free throws.
He drops the first one. That narrows the lead down to just 3. And both free throws good for Williams.
What a clutch performer. He loves being in these situations, just relishes the opportunity. A lot of guys say they do, but you can see it in his face. He truly does.
Here's Gay outside. Another miss by Gay.
Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide open opportunities.
The shot by Pierce will not go.
Boy, they almost tied it up with that shot.
Boy, they're this close here in the fourth quarter. Scrapping back into it.
And it's sent back by Lopez. It's Williams with the drive. DeRozan with the rebound. Tipped. 13 feet away. Money. And tie game. That is a huge basket right there.
We're seeing the red-hot version of Darren Williams right now.
Gay is double. DeRozan feeds it to Lowry. Back to DeRozan. And out of bounds as the Nets gain possession. .36 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It's Williams with the drive. Yes!
Ooh, a pressure basket right there.
Now that's coming through in the clutch.
Steve, what a big possession right here.
No doubt, guys. You can feel the tension in this building.
Lowry setting the pick for Gay. Knocked loose. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation.
You know, sometimes the intensity of the game can lead to brain-neutral plays like that, guys.
11 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And now we've got the intentional foul.
Yeah, you got to freeze the clock. I mean, that's the enemy in this situation.
A few misses at the line, and they're in good shape.
And so he drops them both. It's a 4-point ball game.
No mistakes there. I think you can close the book on this one, guys. It's done.
Throws and dishes to Gay. Lowry. Will it go? And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Williams for three. No good. And so it's Brooklyn who scrapes by with the win. It was tight, but they managed to come up with the win.
You know, nobody wants to lose a close game, Kevin. It's much better to win those tight ones.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan Player of the Game, Darren Williams.